Hi. Let's get started in a child's pose today. For props, I have two blocks and then a pillow and a blanket, all of which are optional, but which I think would be nice. So to start in the child's pose, I'm going to use my bolster. I just have the blanket on top of it because my blanket is cozy and I like it. But I'm just going to fold forward and rest. And it might even feel nice to take your arms underneath your prop and just let yourself melt down, the hips melt down towards the heels. I have one cheek on, like, resting on one cheek on my bolster because that feels best for me. If you prefer to rest on your forehead, that's fine. And if you're on the side of your face, I'll let you know when to switch sides. Close your eyes and just start to breathe deeply. Feeling the shoulders get heavy, the hips get heavy. Allowing yourself to take open mouth exhales whenever you like, especially at the beginning of the practice. I think it feels really nice to let ourselves really let go of whatever came before this moment of practice and settle down, arrive in the present moment. Feeling the breath rising up the back of the body, spreading the skin of the lower back, spreading between the ribs, lifting up underneath your shoulder blades. And if you're just joining us, we are in a child's pose and we're just breathing. And for practice, two blocks, a bolster, maybe a blanket, any or all or none of the above. Listening to the sound of the breath. And when you're ready, just turn your head. If you're resting on one cheek, turn to the opposite cheek. Settle in there. Notice the sound of the breath, like a wave in the ocean rushing in and flowing out. These last cycles of breath in this posture, really let the hips get heavy, let the shoulders get heavy, allowing every exhale to soften the body. As you're ready on an inhale, press the palms of the hands down into the earth and just lift yourself up. Sit tall. Take your prop and just shift that bolster or blanket so it goes horizontally if you're using that. But to begin, let's take a couple of lion's breaths. So I'll turn to face the camera so you guys can see how this is done, how little ego can come into this. I'm going to take my hands and put my fingertips pointing towards the body, rolling the palms down to the earth, and just taking a moment here to roll the shoulders back, opening the heart. The hips are on the heels, the knees are wide. And it's like you're taking a cow pose here. You're pulling the shoulder blades down the back, lifting the heart forward. Empty the breath completely. Inhale fully. And on your exhale, stick the tongue out and let it out through the mouth with a roar. And if you want to get really into it, you can cross the eyes towards the ceiling. Inhale fully, round two. Exhale, let it out. Inhale, three. Exhale, roar. Two more, inhaling. Exhale, let it out. Last one. Releasing the hands, shaking the wrists out. You can interlace the fingers and just sort of make these circular movements with the wrists to release them. Open and close the fingers. Bring your arms out wide to a T. Exhale. Inhale, lift the right arm up, bend the elbow so the palm of the hand comes down behind your neck, and your left hand comes to the top of the elbow tip, right elbow tip, just to open into that shoulder a little bit more. Press the back of the head into the right forearm. Feel the opening through the right shoulder. Feel the hips sink down towards the heels so your ribs aren't popping out. And the gaze is gently down towards the earth. Inhale, release the arms to a T. Exhale, cross the right arm underneath the left elbow. Grab for your shoulder heads, or you can take the eagle wrap, bringing the palms together. Lift your elbow tips wherever you are. Feel the shoulder blades plug down the back. Inhale, exhale, turn to the left. Just feel the opening through the shoulder here. Inhale, come back to center, unleash the arms. Exhale, left hand comes up to the sky. Let the left hand drop down the back of the neck. Right hand comes to the left elbow. Beginning to open through that side of the shoulder girdle. Press the back of the head into the arm. Feel the crown of the head lifting. Feel the tailbone dropping. Inhale, release, arms come out to a T. Exhale, left elbow crosses underneath right, finding your shoulders or finding the eagle bind. Inhale, lift the shoulder tips, plug the shoulder blades down the back. Take a breath here. And then on an exhale, turn everything to the right. Getting into these subtle openings through our shoulders, through the ribs, the neck. Inhale, come back to center, release. Let the hands come down. You can roll the shoulders out in one direction. And then just switch directions. Coming back to some work with our props. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose and let the pillow support your stomach. And figure out like how much of a prop you need. I'm finding that having the blanket on top of the pillow is a little bit too much. So I'm going to remove my blanket and come down. And if the bolster underneath your belly doesn't feel great, you can ditch it. There's no pressure. You might want to block here. Your hands are shoulders width distance. The forearms are planting down. The fingers are planting down. Press the elbows down into the earth. Roll the shoulders back. Feel the heart opening. The legs are long behind you. The toes are planted. Tops of the feet are planted down on the mat. And you might let your forehead come down onto the block. Just resting here. Let the body be soft. releasing the muscles and allowing the skeletal structure of the body to really support you here, along with your props. Keeping in mind that the shoulder blades should be on the back, not letting them creep up towards the ear. So just the most minimal amount of effort to keep this opening through the front of the body, through the neck. Another breath or two here. Feel free to let those exhales flow out the mouth. And from here, let's lift the head if you had it down. And you can stay here just in your Sphinx posture. Or if you'd like to deepen it a little bit, press down into the forearms, lift the elbows up off the mat, straightening the arms to lift into a seal pose. Shoulder blades roll down the back, the heart lifts forward. Inhale. Exhale, drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Hold here for the inhale. On an exhale, roll the chin across the chest, bringing left ear towards left shoulder. Inhaling as you arrive. Exhale, hold. Inhale. Exhale, roll back to the right. Pause for a breath. When you find your next exhale, take it to the opposite side. Sticking with this for a few more rounds of breath. And then making sure that you've done even stretches on both sides of the neck. Let the head come back to center. Lower the elbows. Rest the head again, just for a breath or two, to gently ease out of the posture, step by step. And then push the hips back. Just take a moment to set the props to the side. For the next posture, we're going to take a puppy pose, so opening more into our armpits, into our chests. If you'd like, you can use blocks underneath your hands or just have them nearby. It makes it a little bit more intense for most people to have the hands lifted. But what we're going to be looking for is to keep the hips stacked on top of your knees. And then you walk the hands forward and let the heart break down. The forehead can come to the earth, or if you want to put your pillow or blanket underneath the forehead, or a block if you're not using the block underneath the hands. Just letting the heart melt down towards the earth. Feeling the space of the armpits opening. The inhale's filling that space. And the exhale's yielding. A few more breaths here, noticing how the pose evolves. Noticing how the mind responds to the physical sensations. Can you keep the breath deep and the mind attached to that flow of inhale and exhale? And then slowly easing your way out. I like to shift my hips back towards the heels and walk the hands back. Just come to a Virasana or seated hero's pose. Again, you can roll shoulders out in one direction and then the other. Just feeling that space between the shoulder blades, space of the heart opening. Let the shoulders get heavy. Let's shift now just to a seated position with our thumbs on the ground, or if you, we're going to do some forward folds and side openers. So if you find that you like to have your hips lifted up to give yourself a little bit more range of motion, that can be really nice, especially in a more restorative practice like practice this evening. And you might just want to have a block nearby to grab if you need something to release down into. Beginning with the legs wide. Inhale, sweep the right arm up to the sky, and then exhale, bend over to the left leg. Just finding this opening through the right side body. Feel the right hip get heavy, drop it down, even if it's only in your imagination. Flex through the feet. And I like to turn my gaze down towards the earth for an evening practice. But if you're looking to maintain some high energy, you can always turn the gaze up towards the sky. Just a couple more breaths on this side. When you're ready, find an inhale to lift you up to center. Exhale, pause. Just feel the butt pose settle. And then an inhale brings left arm up to the sky. And an exhale Sweep it over as you bend towards the right. And you can just let your head look down towards the ground. If you feel like you want a support of the head, I should have said this on the first side, you can use your hand resting it on top of the thigh. Really allowing the head to get heavy if you are supporting it. And focusing on this opening through the whole left side of the body. Use an inhale to rise up through center. Exhale, pause. Bend your right knee, bring the sole of that right foot inside your left thigh. Turn your chest so you're angled out over towards the left leg. This is where your blocks may come in handy underneath the hands. Inhale, press down into the ground or into your blocks to lift the heart, to lift the spine long. And then exhale, just fold forward from there, keeping your navel in line with the left leg. So your stomach feels like it's twisting towards the left. Let the back of the neck stay long. Keep those left toes flexing. Let the shoulders get heavy. Let the face soften. Really allowing the sound of the breath, that oceanic flow, bring calm to the body, the mind. Use an inhale to lift back up to sit tall, turning towards the center, switching the legs. Right leg extends, left sole of the foot comes inside of the right thigh. If you used your blocks on one side, bring them to the next. Turning the chest to point out over the leg. Inhale, find a nice tall spine. Exhale, folding in. Keeping the pose posture active to begin with, just to find the alignment of that navel spinning towards the right, spinning towards the extended leg. And then once you have that, you can start to melt down, to drop in, and let it be gradual, flowing with the breath. When you're ready, inhale, lifting up through such extending both legs out into a V. Just make it comfortable. Don't go too far. We're not here to impress anyone. I like to have the blocks underneath my hands again, inhaling to lift the heart. And then exhale, you're just folding forward as much as makes sense in your body. Allowing the gaze to be down at the ground, the back of the neck long. Release any effort through the feet. The toes can just sort of hang. Just getting this passive stretch in the inseams of the legs. Let yourself really ride the breath, float on the breath, deeper and deeper into the posture. Take a deep inhale. Sigh it out the mouth. And then inhale, ease yourself out of the posture. We're gonna come down onto the belly, setting the props aside for the moment. We'll need all of them again shortly, but for now, just one final shoulder opener. And let's begin with our arms out to a T. Take your right hand, place it on the mat, press the palm down and turn your chest up, stacking the hips. You can bring the right foot behind you. You can bend the knees, rest the knees together. You're feeling this opening through the front of the left shoulder. This is a pretty deep stretch as it is, but if you do feel like you want to go deeper, a good thing to test that is to make your left arm into a goalpost, like a cactus shape, instead of just straight out. That will just increase the sensation. Resting the left side of the face on the earth. Just a couple more breaths here. Making space in the heart. When you're ready, just release back down to your belly. You can make a pillow with the hands underneath the forehead. And just feel the posture settle. Noticing the effect. And when you're ready to move to the second side, just set yourself up. Same thing, but now it's the right arm. We're turning into opening into the right arm. So the left hand presses down to turn the chest open. And notice if the variation that you took on the first side is appropriate for this side. The sides can be very different. So this is a practice of respecting where we are in the present moment, of honoring the present moment, of letting go of the past and letting go of the future, and abiding without judgment. And this is a great stretch for people that spend a lot of time at their computers or on their phones or driving, and who amongst us does not do that? And especially when these colder months where you kind of find yourself curling in to maintain your warmth, taking a moment to open up, crack through the heart space a little bit. It's time well spent. One more inhale here. Release back to the belly. Just rest for a breath and let the posture resonate and settle. Moving into our final posture of the practice, I'm going to offer two different options. If you're looking for more heart opening, if you're really enjoying that sensation of letting the heart be luminous and open, you can set up a little ramp with your blocks and your bolster and lie back. Letting the head be supported and the shoulder blades be supported by those blocks. So your arms can fall open and the shoulders can get heavy. And if you're here, your legs can be bent, the knees can knock in towards each other, the feet can be together, the knees can fall open, or the legs can just simply be out long in front of you. And you'll just stay here and breathe. If you would like to get a little more grounding this evening, maybe you're moving towards bedtime or just into a calmer space, I'd like to offer, I don't even know what this is called, but you kind of make like a little bridge with your two blocks on their highest setting, the bolster on top of them, and you come down to lie on your back with your calves supported by the blocks. And just feel yourself melting down into the earth and getting this really gentle inversion. You can also do this with like your calves supported by a couch or a chair. So settling into the variation of your choice. Closing the eyes. Soften the muscles of the face. Feel the eyes relax. So the cheeks relax. Maybe wiggle the jaw out. Get rid of any last tension that we're holding there. Feel the skin of the back of the skull just spreading, melting into the point of contact. Feel the crown of the head soften. Move the awareness now to the shoulders. Feeling the shoulder heads get heavy. Feel the elbows get heavy. And the hands get heavy. And allow your awareness to rest with the inhale, filling the rib cage, lifting the heart, lifting in all directions. And the exhale, feel the ribs settle, melting down into the support of the earth or into your props. Feeling the heart floating, luminous. Moving the breath from the awareness now into the belly. Allowing the belly to be soft, relaxed. Gentle tide. Allow the hips to get heavier. Pelvis settled like an anchor in the ground. Feel the thigh bones heavy. And if you're in the gentle inversion with your legs propped up, feel the thigh bones like they're settling down into the hip sockets. And the heels get heavy. And the feet relax. The body supported. Floating safely on this ocean of breath. Remaining here exactly as you are. That is what calls to you, or if you feel like you would like a more traditional shavasana or any other posture, close the practice. You have plenty of time, so make your way slowly wherever you need to go, or just rest where you are. Releasing conscious control of the breath and really just floating. you're practicing with me on YouTube, I'm going to leave you now. Namaste.